Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Tuesday, June 1st, 2010. Well folks, the markets are mixed today. We are right now seeing the S&P 500 down 4 points, NASDAQ is basically flat on the day, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 32 points. So really a mixed bag on Wall Street here. Very volatile, whippy intraday. Volume is not tremendous by any stretch, but you are seeing the markets again flip-flopping up and down and all around intraday on the back of a wild trading day in the dollar and the euro. Let me just show you this example here on the UUP, which is the dollar ETF. Look at initially the gap up in the dollar and then the drop in the dollar. The dollar came ripping down here, then it had a huge bounce, then another pullback, now another bounce, and the markets are just going the opposite direction of that. For instance, take a look at the markets today on the SPY. All right, again, note that the dollar started higher and then dropped sharply. Look at what the markets did. The markets did the exact opposite, gapping down and then ripping to the upside in the opposite manner to go positive. Then as the dollar rallied back up, you saw the markets coming back in and just continuing to go the opposite way. In tune with that, the FXE, the Euro ETF, you can see it's exactly the opposite of the dollar. And again, the Euro ETF is a good tracker for this overall market. And you can see, again, if the Euro is going up, the markets are going up and vice versa. All right. Now, there are some stocks in motion here. The NASDAQ has just ticked to the negative side, but really overall the markets seem to be on the flat line. Let me just go over a couple different things. First, we'll start with the SPY. And again, the market's just hovering around the flat line today, even though the whips, as you can see, intraday are very, very wild up and down both ways. Now, as I said, the market's gapped lower. What I want to show you here is first the move up initially. See how you gapped below the 200 and then you closed right here, then the next candle recaptured? That is a bullish signal. Whenever you see that, always take that as a bullish signal. The fact that you gapped below a major trend line, recaptured it within two candles, pulled back, consolidated, and then ripped higher. And again, always look for that. A recapture of a technical trend line or moving average, again, will be a signal for that direction to come through even more so, and the markets sure did follow through with a huge move up on the SPY. Pre-market, the markets were down over 100 points on the Dow, so really it's been a pretty solid reversal from the highs to the lows, back to the highs, back to the lows, back and forth, all the way around today. Now again, everything is hinging on the euro and the dollar. I mean, that's what it comes down to, folks. Everyone's just paying attention to those currencies. The market's going in the opposite way. We did get some ISM numbers today. We're actually pretty solid on the day, and that did show a little bit of positive nature in the markets, and we saw, again, continued move up right around 10 a.m. Eastern time. A couple other things to go over here. First of all, technical trend lines. You can see this pink line is working very well. The 200 moving average was the first level today. We recaptured that, then recaptured the pink line all the way up. We came back into the pink line right here, rallied up again, and then came back into it and are bouncing again. You also have the 200 moving average holding things steady. So a lot of support right down here, anywhere from the 200 at 108.65 to this pink trend line at 108.85 on the SPY. This is going to be a very, very good level. I'll put an X right there. That's major support. If by some stretch of the imagination you were able to break this to the downside, this X area right here, and I'll erase it now that you guys know, you would then probably go back to the lows of the day down here, which would actually turn out to be a pretty significant sell-off. On the upside, again, this level right here has been chopped through multiple times. It's not a big level anymore. In fact, what I'm going to do is erase it now. You don't have to have it there. Now what you're really looking for is this little pivot top right here. All right, this is going to be your pivot top. You pierced it here and then touched it right here. That's telling you this 109.75 to 109.80 level is a very significant level, just about at the highs of the day today. That would be resistance if we rallied up. If you get through that, you're going to go to this blue line up here. That will be your next spot of interest, and that's at 110.40, and then ultimately a move up to 110.80 would be basically the highs from Friday. But you can see, again, folks, the levels, which, again, this pink line comes from the low here on Friday, that turned out to be a very significant level, and so far the markets are holding and actually bouncing beautifully off this pink trend line and the 200 moving average. Now, a couple other things to go over today, folks. First of all, the drillers. BP is getting crushed today, down over $5 on the back of continued negativity based off the Gulf oil spill. And again, no sign of that thing letting up. And again, the stock is getting pounded. You got to figure down the line, lawsuits galore, whether it's from the governments, whether it's from individuals down there that have been hurting, whether it's from environmentalists, you name it, folks. There are going to be lawsuits galore, and that stock is getting pounded down $5. Now, it's interesting because the sympathies to these stocks are also getting played very, very sharply to the downside. For instance, BP sympathy would be RIG, Transocean, getting hammered as well, down over $5. How about ACP? Make that APC, Anadarko. Anadarko right here, petroleum. You can see that thing down over $8. In addition, Halliburton, folks, one of the bigger stocks there as well, down over $3. And again, it's interesting because I am eyeing a couple of these stocks for possible swing trades to the long side, and I just want to point this out right here. Look at this, folks. Nice little support area right here and this goes all the way down to this level, basically from $21.25 to $22 area support right here on that stock chart. If it were to go through, it would go down to here. This would be your next level, down to $18. Now again, very, very interesting levels here on this stock. Again, a very, very key thing that could be turning out to be a very, very interesting idea, possibly of a level to watch, but we'll keep a close eye on it and see how this thing progresses. All right. So again, guys, keep a close eye on the overall markets here in regards to a couple of these stocks. Now, they're very scary plays, but it is going to be something I'm going to watch very, very closely in the coming days for a possible swing trade, possibly for a little bit of a bounce. I mean, you take a look at Halliburton, for instance, and go to the daily chart on Halliburton. The stock just a few weeks ago was literally trading at $35. Now it's down to about $20, $22. If it gets below 20, it very likely could be a nice little swing trade to the long side. Now, what else is moving today? First of all, financials are lagging. And first of all, when you see financials lagging, you have to look at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is a good leading indicator for the market, and as soon as you see this lagging here, Goldman Sachs near the lows of the day, you have to think that the market is probably a little on the weaker side, and that is the case today, basically on a flat line, unable to really get a significant bounce. In addition, stocks like ExxonMobil and Chevron are flat. Those can kind of be grouped inside of the drillers, although not totally drillers, but again, you're probably getting some negative effects there from those drilling stocks. Apple Computer is having a fantastic day today. Look at Apple up here, trading just near off the highs of the day, up $8 on the day. And again, 2 million iPads sold. That's the word out over the weekend since they debuted that product. And that is a huge amount of revenue you have to figure that's coming into this stock. Upgrade to $320, I heard as well. And that again just tells you that there's going to continue to be some sizable support on this in the near term until they start to show a slow in sales of these iPads or iPhones or iPods or whatever they may be. That could be a key level to watch for. And again, once we see that, I think this stock could come down. But I wouldn't be looking to short it until then, folks. This is a monster in the making. All right. Now, a couple other things to just go over. Google up $2, Baidu up $1. Research in Motion, Amazon down slightly on the day. Overall, markets are really just flattish aside from the drillers. The drillers are the ones that are getting pounded. Again, if you take a look at BP, that's what you're watching now, down $5. A huge drop on that. And I just want to show you the daily chart on this again. I mean, this is brutal, folks. Down from basically $60 to underneath 40 now. You're talking about a 30 to 40% loss on this stock at this point off the highs of the year. And again, it's showing no signs of letting up at this point, just getting pounded and pounded. But ultimately, you guys know how I feel. When things are hated, I start to like them. Now, I would never go near BP. There's too many other issues. But some of the sympathy plays may be of interest over the coming days or weeks. I will announce it in the hot charts and alerts. We will send out alerts via email and text. And again, keep an eye on these other plays. It's going to be an interesting day. All right, folks, keep an eye on this. The week should be another profitable week. We had a huge week last week and a huge month in May. Another one to come, in my opinion. Stay posted on these stocks. Again, here's the spiders starting to move up. You got to get through these two moving averages. If we do that, it should be very, very lucrative, and we'll see from there. Take care, folks.